Good morning to one and all. Certainly it's a pleasure being in the house of the Lord and seeing each and every one who come out to worship the Lord in spirit and in truth this morning. This morning, my lesson, if you will, get everybody to go ahead and turn to Mark, the 8th chapter. We're going to start reading this verse here. This is what we're going to talk about this morning. But I'll give everybody a second to get their Bibles out. And we're going to talk a little bit this morning about taking up our cross. And we're going to talk about what it represents, what it means in the Bible. We're going to go over a lot of scriptures, a lot that we know and we have seen for many years. But let's continue to look over this because, you know, the Bible is such a beautiful gift from God that we can read it at different times and get different things out of it. So Mark 8 chapter and the 34th verse, and it says there, "And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, Whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." Now what this is telling us is the exact opposite of what the world teaches you to do. The world teaches you to go out and find what's best for you and do you. Do what's best for you. Get yourself taken care of first. That way don't worry about everybody else. But here we're having a God that's telling us to deny ourselves. Meaning, deny our own wants, our lust, our desire, everything that we want in this world. Deny that. Deny ourselves first. Instead, put the Lord first. Take up His cross and follow. Now, we mentioned a lot of times about the cross, what it's representing. We don't physically carry a cross with us. We don't wake up this morning and carry a physical cross to church. We don't wake up to work and carry a physical cross to work or wherever our places we go. But instead, it's a spiritual thing. The cross is representation of death. We are different from this world. We're not of the world. We've got to remember, once we obey the gospel, we are dead to the world. Meaning, it's not our first love. It's not our first want. It's not our first thought. We're not physically dead to this world, but spiritually, we're not part of this world. We're just here in it. That's why the Bible tells us to be transformed, not conformed to the world. So here it's telling us to take up our cross daily. Remember, the cross daily is a symbolic death. We're to always remember this world isn't for us. When things are not going our way, when we don't have the things that everybody else has, if our car is always tearing up, we're having problems with our house, if we're having problems with a job, if we don't have, our friends are stabbing us in the back, whatever the case may be, like the song we sing, this world is not my home. We've got to realize that. We got to remember that. The world's not going to be friendly to us. This isn't our home. We know when we go to somewhere we're not wanted. We always say, I can't wait to get home. If we're at a friend's house, we're at maybe even a family member's house. I can't wait to get home. I'm not comfortable here. As Christians, we'll never be comfortable here. If we're a Christian and we're comfortable in our world today, we're doing something wrong. We are not welcome in this world. You bring up things of the Bible, people are not going to want to hear it. It goes against their ideologies. They don't like you. They will preach against you. They're going to say everything they can be blasphemous about it because it goes against what they want to believe. Even though it doesn't hold merit and we have our truth right here, they don't want to hear that. And we got to think about how we forget a lot of times how torturous the cross was. We got to remember that Jesus was scourged. So when we say that, he was not only was he whipped with that cat of nine tails that had the little balls on the end that when it hit into the body, it got stuck, it was ripped back out. So not only was he had open wounds when he carried his cross, whenever they nailed him to the cross, the weight of his body now, you have an open wounds. Think about that wood cross that your back is now on. And as the weight goes and sweat and everything else goes, you start sliding down that wood with open scars. Most of the time when somebody was hung on a cross, they were never scourged before. You either have one or the other. But he had both. So it was even more pain. So like Christ, we too are going to have pains. We're not just going to have everything handed to us in this world. Now everybody's going to say, oh, you're a Christian? You're going to have to find the seat of the house. Oh, you don't have to wait in line. You skip to the front. It's the exact opposite. So remember, when things aren't going your way, remember, you are not of this world. You yourself chose to be out of the world. When you think, how come everybody's mean to me? Because you chose to be out of it. When you're not getting the same things of this world, you're going to feel different, aren't you? You chose that route. You chose the right one. Because we're putting up our treasures in heaven, not here. So remember this scripture right here. We have to deny ourselves and take up our cross and follow him. Let's keep on reading here. Let's go to Matthew. Let's read a little bit in Matthew. Matthew, the 10th chapter. Turn with me there. And it says there, Matthew 10 and 38. Let's read there. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. If we can't deny our own selves, we're not worthy. We're not even worthy to wear the name Christian, a Christ-like follower. If we're not willing to follow what he has laid out for us to follow, we can't be a Christian, can we? Now, whenever we're at work and somebody lays out something for us to do, and we don't do it, we just say, well, I don't feel like doing that. I'm going to make up the rules, and I'm going to follow what I want to follow. That person's going to say, you're no longer worthy to wear your name tag. No longer worthy to wear this uniform. You're no longer worthy to be a part of my office. You're going to be out the door. Why? Because you couldn't follow the rules that they laid out for you. They don't want you as an employee. So therefore, we cannot name the name Christian and just think, I can do what I want to. The Bible was written over 2,000 years ago. It's just ancient. It's not appeal to the world today. I should be able to do what I want to do. I'm going to add some stuff. I'm going to take away. If I feel like cussing, I'm going to cuss. If I feel like drinking, I'm going to drink. If I want to do some drugs every now and then, I'm not bothering nobody but myself. I'm going to do them. We can't just add stuff and think that it's okay. We are no longer Christian when we do that. That's the problem with the church itself. People have taken true religion and made it a doctrine of its own. They have made religion. Man has made religions where they come up with bylaws. Oh, you have to wear this. You have to do this. For so long, you have to do this before you can do this. It's not in the Bible. But yet they'll do this because it's convenient for them. Whether it's just some little organization they made up. That's the problem with the church. They have taken true religion and just slowly just added to and taken away, and it has divided everybody. Even the true churches have divided with each other because of other feelings. We got to go back to the simplicity of the Bible. Too many times do we try to overdo what the Bible's saying. And a lot of times we like to look too much into it so to fit our lifestyles. But yet the Bible says it's so simple, a child can understand. We had a very young lady come forward and was baptized not too long ago. She understood what she had to do. But it seems like we try to overdo things. We try to overlook when we try to take something and instead of following the way it says, we try to make it like we're smarter and we know more, and we try to change it around and we twist it to fit our own lifestyles. Instead of going with the simplicity of the word. The problem with us today is, like I believe with technology, we're getting dumber. And if you disagree with me, come to me later. But let me say this. These smartphones are making everybody dumb. How many years ago when somebody said, hey, what's somebody's phone number? We knew it just like that. How many phone numbers did we know growing up? Maybe not the younger ones don't have no idea what I'm talking about. We knew our friends' number. We knew our grandparents' numbers. We knew aunts, uncles. We had everybody's number in our minds. And when we gave somebody directions, they said, well, how do you get to that restaurant? Oh, you go to Smith Street, turn left on 3rd, there's Green Street, and you go a couple of blocks. We knew how to get somewhere. Now we're punching in GPS. Where's it at? I don't know. You gotta put it in GPS. I don't know. Do you realize in car manuals, you can go back into the 1960s at your car's manual, your owner's book. You can look at it, and the thing is going to tell you what the spark gap is for your spark plugs. It's going to tell you what your timing needs to be for your car. Nowadays, you open up the owner's manual of new cars, it tells you not to drink the water out of your battery. That's how we have gone in society. We're going backwards. The technology and everything else has made us all dumb. And so we've done that with the Bible. We put it into our worldly life and saying, oh, that's old school. That's not how the world operates. That's how God operates. What we're going to be judged on is what God operates, not what we think it should be. Facts does not care about your feelings. Because it hurts your feelings. You don't feel like going to church. That is a you problem. It's not the church's problem. We don't come here to boast how great we are or to leave feeling good. Sometimes we need to kick in the rear to realize it's time to get into shape. It's time for me to focus. When do you think your parents spanked you as a kid? You remember in church when you were acting up or whatever, you kind of got the thump, the little switch, you got a little whatever. Hey, focus. Back on, listen to what's going on. You were acting up in public, you might have got a spanking that's act right. You had to get refocused, didn't you? Sometimes we need that as adults to refocus on our real problems. Now, I'm not saying we go and spank another adult, but sometimes we need to be brought back down. We get so high and mighty, we forget that we're supposed to deny ourselves and follow after him. In Matthew, keep reading, let's go to Matthew, the 6th chapter, and the 24th verse. Matthew 6 and verse 24. It says there, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will hold on to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. Okay, we can't have two masters. That should be pretty simple, shouldn't it? We talked about the work a while ago. Have you ever been at work and you had a boss come up to you and say, hey, I need you to go sweep real quick. Whatever task you want to put in, but we'll just say sweep. We go to sweeping. His boss comes up to you and says, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sweeping. We ain't got time for you to sweep. I need these bags taken over here, and then I got these boxes over there. They need to be done first. Okay. You go there and you get the boxes, you get the bags. The other boss told you sweep, comes over and says, what are you doing? Well, I need to get these boxes back. No, I need you to sweep. Well, so I don't care what he told you. I need you to sweep. Okay, you go sweeping. They go, why aren't you doing what I asked you to do? I told you to get the bags. And I wish somebody would make up your mind. You don't know what to do. Because you got one person telling you one thing and another person telling you another. If we got our toes in we got one foot in the church, we got the other foot in the world, it's the same way. The Bible's telling you, don't murder. The world's telling you, oh, it's okay for a woman to have her own decision. She can murder. They just don't say it's murder. They just say it's a lump of cells. Oh, really? When you have an abortion, what are those lump of cells in a few months? What do they turn into? They tell you this to get you to think other way. The devil's so much into this world right now, and it's used to be kind of hidden. Now they're throwing it right out in front of your face. The music industry and what the things they talked about, they would hide it. They would have little symbolisms in their records. They had little symbolisms in their videos, in their songs. Now they just show it straight out. Nobody says a word. And if you do, you're the one in the wrong. So we cannot serve two masters. We can't serve this world, make everybody else happy, and try to think we're making the Lord happy at the same time. You remember the show of the guy who had sister wives? He had multiple wives. Okay, he's married 3 wives. He's trying to take care of 3 women at one time. Okay, who in the world didn't watch this show and think, oh yeah, this ain't going to end well for him? Somebody ain't going to like it. Some woman is going to get jealous because he's spending the night with that other lady. Guess what? He decided to bring a 4th one in and didn't tell none of them about it. And brought them in and said, here she is. Do you think it made anybody else happy? No. Eventually, he liked the one more than he did the other 3. Wow, shocker. Who didn't see that ending coming? We say we love God. We say we serve him. But what does our action show? Are we serving him? Love is an easy word to say, but one of the hardest emotions to show. We can say it till we're blue in the face, but our actions speak otherwise. We say we love God. Are we serving Him? Are we denying ourselves to serve Him? What does our actions say? That should be our measuring stick. Not how many times we said I love God, not how many times we say prayers, but how many times we actually put those works into action. Why does the Bible say faith without works is dead? Too many times you hear people say, all you got to have is faith and you're going to be saved when the Lord comes for you because you already changed in your heart. You believed in Him. The Bible does not say that. It says faith without works is dead. Your faith is great, but the devils also fear and tremble. The devils also have faith that there is a Lord. But yet it's not going to save them. Not only do us as Christians need to be baptized, need to follow the church, follow the Bible. Not only do we follow the commandments, not only do we do everything we can, just with faith, we got to go into actions. Because if there's somebody who's on the side of the road who needs help, we just don't pray that they can get help. If somebody's hungry, we can't just pray that they'll be fed. If somebody needs help, we don't pray that they need help. We got to actually get out and help them. Because we may be the answer to that prayer. Too many times we step back and we want somebody else to do it. Now, growing up in my house now, you see it all the time. How many times, especially you ladies, how many times you get frustrated when you see something sitting there and somebody doesn't clean it up? You say, how many times you going to walk by it? How many times you going to ignore it? Oh, somebody else will do it. We're the same way when it comes to our Christian lives and our duties. How many times we say, somebody else will pick up my slack. Somebody else will do it for me. Because guess what? Somebody else will end up doing it for you, and somebody else is going to be in their mansion in heaven, and we'll miss out. Because we didn't put those things into action. We didn't want to work. 1 Corinthians, let's go there. I got a lot of scriptures this morning. 1 Corinthians 6.